Over the last couple of days, I've been asked several times by people to make a video about this whole ITAR thing. This whole idea that Obama is placing a gag order on any speech relating to guns. That you can't have blogs about guns, can't post YouTube videos about guns, etc. You can't do anything on the internet that has anything to do with guns, especially of any type of technical data, like how they work or what they look like inside, etc. Well, since everyone's been so upset, I decided, well, I'll look into it. Now, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not even particularly that bright. But I looked into it, and I'm afraid after researching it a little bit, I'm going to have to say that this is just a conspiracy theory. I can't find anything to validate what people are saying. For one, it doesn't say what a lot of these stories are saying. It doesn't say the whole part where they're saying it regulates the posting of technical data or specific information, etc., about firearms and ammunition. And then I noticed that all the stories, they always close the quotation marks before they say firearms and ammunition, not after. It's always technical data, specs, etc., close quotations, firearms and ammunition. And why do they do that? Because it doesn't say that anywhere in the bill. And when I say bill, I mean the legal wording of the actual document, the actual ITAR agreement. In fact, everything I read dealt mostly with defense systems and satellite systems. It had nothing to do with guns and ammunition. It did say weapon systems, etc., but it never anywhere does it say commonly held firearms and ammunition, so I'm not sure where people are getting that. Basically, ITAR says, if you enter into contract with the government for sensitive systems like defense systems, weapon systems, etc., you can't share that information outside our borders. Or if you develop a weapon system in conjunction with the U.S. government, the government helped you develop that, you can't just go turn around and sell that to whoever you want to sell it to now for a profit. Now that just makes sense. You can't have government contractors, the people that the government contracts to build these sensitive systems, turning around and selling how to beat them to our competitors, to our enemies, shall we say, in the world. And up until now, it hasn't included internet. It's always just said written form, verbal form, etc. Now they're just including, hey, you can't also post this stuff on the internet and give it to people. Because if you post it on the internet, you've basically given it to people. You've given it to people outside our borders if you post it on the internet. If it's sensitive American information that you can't share with other countries, if you put it on the internet, they can see it. So therefore, you can't do that. This would stop people that are like terrorists or anti-government people or anti-U.S. people that wanted to put information that they've stolen from their, their employer, etc. Maybe they work for one of these contractors. Well, up until now, if they put it on the internet, there wasn't a whole lot of recourse the government had because that isn't sharing it outside the borders. But now they're going to say, okay, if you put it on the internet, that's the same as just handing it to someone in Saudi Arabia. Now, am I worried that this could hypothetically be used to affect commonly held guns and ammunition? Well, I guess hypothetically it could, but hypothetically monkeys could fly out of my ass right now, but you don't see me shoving bananas down my shorts. The main reason I'm not concerned is it just doesn't seem to be written that way. I don't see anything in the text that would lead me to believe that that's the way it was intended to be read, or that's what it was intended to be used for. If they wanted to use it for that, they had to write it completely differently. Now, it is written pretty vaguely, and maybe all this attention will cause them to maybe rewrite it in a way that isn't so vague, so maybe that good will come from it. But another reason I'm not worried is this would never stand up to court scrutiny. This would never stand up to constitutional scrutiny. This would be torn apart in the courts. And not only would it tear this apart, it would damage the anti-gun cause. This would be such an overreach by the anti-gunners when it went to court that it would turn public opinion most assuredly far towards the pro-gun side. It would not only not work, it would damage their cause overall. It would actually help our cause. It would help the pro-freedom, pro-firearm cause. And the people who do this stuff, they know that. They're not trying to lose their battles, they're trying to win their battles. So they know this wouldn't work, and it would damage them almost irreparably. It would push public opinion so far the other direction, it would hurt them for decades to come. So like I said, it's just a conspiracy theory. I don't see any truth to it. If someone out there is way smarter than me that's read it, that can explain it to me in a way that makes more sense, I'll be willing to listen to them. But as of right now, it's a conspiracy theory. It's not a very good one. It's not even a very well thought out one. The way they word it in their little stories makes it pretty clear that they're far reaching on what they're trying to say. So I'm not too worried about it. And if I was you, I wouldn't be too worried about it either, but I would still pay attention.